Hello and welcome to this podcast interview. I'm Shubham Thakur and today with me I have senior political commentator and journalist Saba Naqvi ma'am. Thank you so much ma'am for joining us on the news box.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Ma'am, we would like to know what you think about Citizenship Amendment Act and why you think it is anti-constitution.
I think it goes against the spirit of the Constitution, and it effectively suggests that India is a Hindu homeland. Actually reinforces the belief of Muhammad Ali Jinnah of the two nations theory, where he said Hindus and Muslims make separate homelands.
Okay.
Now, whether this law stands legal scrutiny with reference to that does the central government have the right to frame such a law is an altogether different matter, and that could happen.
Okay.
However, because law is a very complicated matter, and I'm not a legal expert on this, but one cannot rule out the possibility that a government has a right to frame certain laws.
Okay.
Those grounds, we could, I don't know what will happen.
Okay.
However, in the idea spirit of a constitution it's harder to understand, but I think people in India have understood what it's all about.
Ma'am, recently the CGI said that he will act only when the violence stops. So what do you think about that?
You're making the comment so much on the court, but I think courts have to act even as events are unfolding.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, coming to the next question, it is about electoral bond because it is already in the eyes of the controversy. So it is also going to begin the fresh issuing of the bond is going to begin from the 30th of this month. Ma'am, as per all the latest reports in the past, BJP has been the biggest beneficiary of the electoral bond scheme. They are saying it is to maintain to conceal the identity of the donor so that it will be easier for the government or the person to avoid any political targeting. Do you think that is the case or something else is there?
No, it's just a case for them to get lots of money. Electoral bond is a scam. And there is enough work to show that it is a scam. Let us not forget that whatever is happening ideologically, politically, against the federal spirit of the Indian Constitution also, this whole idea of unit, one nation, one poll, all of this, let us not forget that the Bharatiya Janata Party is the richest party ever in India's history. Spent more money than any party did politically in 2014 and in 2019. Even according to the affidavit submitted to the Election Commission of India, the income tax statements, they have crossed every barrier we could have thought of. And the electoral bond scheme is a very, very clever way for them to get money and to keep, and at the same time, those who fund other parties, small businesses have reported of targeting and harassment by the Enforcement Directorate and Income Tax Authority.
Ma'am, for argument's sake, even if we take the logic given by the government of the day that it has to conceal the identity of the donor to avoid any political targeting, aren't they wrong in that? Because, does it happen, for example, if the person is known, for example, who donates which political party, the person can be targeted by the other rival political party or other institution?
You're right about that, and I think, for the kind of, if you want to do something on electoral bonds, I would advise you to speak to people in an institution called ADR, Association for Democratic Reform. They would have everything legally worked out on this issue. And, there are there is a gentleman called Mr. Jagdeep Chokkar and Sir Lochan Shastri. Please look them up and tell them you would like to, because they have all the questions and answers.
Ma'am, talking about the anti-CAA protests across India, do you think opposition has failed to play its important role in the protests?
That's good. The opposition is so weak right now. I'm talking about North India. You're speaking to me from a Chennai-based university, right?
Yeah, ma'am, yes.
But, in North India, the opposition is so weak. To have, perspectives change from which part of India you speak from. May not look so to you in Tamil Nadu. But however, in North India, the opposition has been rendered weak. And what is also the way the media narratives play out in Hindi and English, around the capital and in the Hindi-speaking parts of the country, it's all designed to discredit the opposition, and the opposition is currently weak. It is spontaneously people and students who are taking the lead. That is what makes it potent and gives it legitimacy. In different parts of India, the anti-CAA protests have happened for different reasons. In Assam, it was against the CAA for different reasons. It was about the Assamese not wanting Bengalis regardless of religion, right? Outsiders, it's that outsider sentiment. In Uttar Pradesh, it was mainly the minority community that stepped out, following which there was a terrible police crackdown. In Delhi and campuses across India, it's students of all communities. It is beyond caste, beyond class right now. In the university campus scene.
Yeah. Ma'am, talking about this whole controversy in Bihar, because elections are due next year, there has been some problem and disagreement between the two alliances. Prashant Kishore has also come out with his own differences. And Nitish Kumar has said NRC will not be implemented if at all it happens. But he is maintaining a kind of silence on that. Do you think any major challenge to the alliance in the coming up election in the state?
I don't really think so.
Okay.
Because I think the idea is to get more seats out of the BJP for Nitish Kumar, not to actually lead them, because I don't think they can repeat what happened in the earlier Bihar election. I don't think the numbers are adding up, even in that case.
Ma'am, coming to the last question, I'm talking about Delhi elections, which is going to be held this year, like next month. So, ma'am, what do you think is the ground reality? Is do you see public sentiment in favor of AAP, or is it BJP? What is the scenario on ground as a political commentator?
I think the AAP very much has the advantage. They have stayed out of all issues into identity, and they've made it about local issues and about schools, electricity, and they have given subsidized electricity, and that is a big thing. You know, and I say, you're speaking from Tamil Nadu, where the whole idea of subsidies and all of that has had a history, longer history than it and all. So Aam Aadmi Party, in spite of the fact that they were blocked by the bureaucracy for many years, in the first few years in particular, they have now settled down to being very cautious and not engaging only with the issue of the Prime Minister or the issue of anything. They have even been away from some of these protests. Overtly, we don't know behind the scenes who's helping what. But they have stayed away, and they have made it. And I think there are a lot of beneficiaries of this